Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 1st of February, comes to you from London. And we're looking at the dollar first of all, and it's still just resting below the cloud. Has activated this downside target since we looked at this yesterday. So we do have a further 1.5% downside potential there. Of course, much bigger downside potential on these longer term charts. So the dollar is still looking bearish. Euro looking stronger this morning, up above the cloud, and we do have an activated upside target of 126. So that's 1.2% upside. Against the yen, the dollar is actually recovering here, so that's showing some yen weakness. And sterling is looking stronger against the dollar as well, coming back to test this 142.50 level. So sterling looking stronger there, and against the euro, sterling looking stronger as well. So we are just seeing sterling putting in a bit of a recovery, looking strong against the Swiss franc and the Aussie dollar too. Bitcoin is sitting below the 10,000 levels at about 9,840 at the moment. So interesting, we are this low that we saw earlier in the week, beginning of yesterday morning and Monday, those lows now coming under attack again. If Bitcoin does spend much time below $10,000, that's going to be pretty important. It's a psychologically important level now, and we are seeing downside targets to 9,100. So we are on that short-term chart another 6% lower. So one to watch. Looking at the S&P 500 index, just selling off a bit yesterday, and the Nasdaq. The US market's just flattening out a bit at the moment. The Dow also just a bit weaker on the day, and the Russell 2000 actually now turning bearish. So across the board on the broader based 2000 US stocks, we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off there on the short-term chart. No really big downside targets to worry about, but nonetheless we are seeing a sell-off. The S&P future is up 0.36% this morning, and the Nasdaq E-mini up 1/4%. So we may see a higher opening in the US. FTSE up 1/4% as well after yesterday's woes for Capita, and FTSE 250 also still up this morning, but also bearish below the cloud. So the UK market still looks particularly weak. The DAX is up this morning, but below the cloud on the short-term chart, and the Nikkei also weaker below the cloud as well. The Hang Seng is holding in there, looking quite strong, and Shanghai just coming back below the cloud as well. So we are just seeing a little bit of a global sell-off on the short term, and the Sensex is holding on to its gains. The Australian market looking stronger, getting back above the cloud. That weaker Aussie dollar, which we saw on that sterling chart, is having an impact there. Brent crude sitting at 68.99, bearish in the short term with some downside targets about anywhere between 1.5% and 5% lower than here, but we are still bearish below the cloud, but medium and long term picture is good. WTI, much the same picture, of course. US nat gas giving up all the gains we saw over the last week or so, now back below the $3 level at $2.94. We did have a downside target of $2.92. That's now close to being met. Copper also just looking a little bit lower there, and if we go straight to gold, gold just struggling to break above the cloud at the moment, sitting at 1340, but not a lot of work to do to get through the cloud, and we've got upside targets activated. 1357 is activated, 1367 not yet activated, but that would be nudging us to the high that we saw back in 2016. Silver also looking like it will cross through the cloud as well. US 10-year yields just strengthening again to 2.74%. Apple still bearish below the cloud. Google flat at the moment. Amazon had a big day yesterday, but in the end gave up some of its gains, so fairly flat on the day. And Facebook announcement last night looked to go higher in after trading, after hours trading. So it'll be interesting to see where Facebook opens today. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.